everybody. Welcome to another episode of Altar Call MAFS. I'm your host, Tane, here to talk about Love is Blind Season 9, and this is the wedding episode. Here to talk about this with me is Brian from Maps Virgin. What up, Brian?
What up? I am re-energized. We just finished talking about how maths also dropped today, so I am in my bag right now.
Who knows when they're going to get this, hopefully. So it dropped on Thursday.
We're in the time machine right now.
We're in the time machine. We can see the future. But yes, right. Happy Maps Day to all who celebrate, which obviously is us. And I'm excited. We've both seen like the first episode, and we're back. It looks good. They chopped up a bunch of things, and we're happy.
So, they spent money on music. We got Chapel Roan in the first episode.
Like, there is money.
Right? Yeah.
There is money. But yes, we still have Love is Blind to wrap up. And we had a wedding episode that was just one episode, which was telling us all there is to know. And we've talked about this before, Brian, where it's like, and we're going to talk about this in episodes because I see a lot of people being very harsh on KB for taking him all the way to the altar and all that. And I've said this before. Yes, it may be mean, but that is the format of the show. Take him to the altar. You can say yes, you can say no. Everyone's like, the courtesy of not doing it, then we will have no one. And that's something I'm curious about is who gets to break up before, who gets to go all the way to the altar? Like, make everybody go to the altar and say no there. I don't understand it. It's like, oh, I couldn't do that to you. Well, the people who do it, they're not mean. They just read the rules. So
that's the drama of the show. The whole point of the show is get to the altar and see what happens. It's not like, would it have been heartbreaking to watch Joe break Madison's heart at the altar? Like, yeah, but I watch garbage reality TV. That's what I'm here for. Yeah. Like, I'm not here to be like, spare their feelings. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm getting myself into. Yeah, it's going to be sad. I watch Real Housewives. It's always sad. Like, that's kind of how the shows go, So yeah, I don't know. I do wish that they would have all gotten to the altar. I don't at all judge KB for going to the altar and saying no. Like, that's how the show works. I don't know. Also, y'all are precious, but it's not for me.
She wasn't the only one who said no. I don't know why she's getting all that. Right? Anyways, we'll get there. Little housekeeping, guys. Like we said, Maps is coming back. So patreon.com reminding you that I will be having like just bonus episodes over like Maps extra episodes to complement the regular feed episodes. Also on Patreon, as usual, even if you're a free patron, you get the challenge recaps every week. And I just did a recap with Aid for the documentary The Perfect Neighbor. So check that out. Did you watch that, Brian?
Yeah, it was sad as hell.
It sure was. It sure was. So just check that out. It was it was interesting, but it's all for the greater good. I want to share some comments that we got. Someone from Denver. No, nothing bad.
I always worry. I have imposter syndrome.
Hi, Eva. Thanks for sharing. And the comment was, I'm from Denver, and I promise there are quality people here. Love is Blind and Maps are doing us dirty. Sad face emoji. And I'm like, I've heard both sides. I've heard people say this is representative of what dating is in Denver, but Eva tells us that there's quality people. I believe you. So, guys, take with it whatever you will.
Right.
And we have one from Miss Adiana. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hello. I've listened to so many recaps, and this one is my favorite. Can't wait for the next episode. So, see?
Oh, well, that's very sweet. All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. All right. Let's dive into this episode. It's a filler episode. I guess it's a wedding episode, but it's a filler episode because
it's a bridge.
We only have 3 couples left. So I'm just glad that, 2 made it to the altar.
Right.
And this is the first season where we have no weddings. I honestly thought it was not the first, but it is. And
we've had seasons where nobody's together at the reunion anymore, but I think this is the first time that we had nobody say yes at the altar.
Wow, that's crazy. And it's so funny because, we've had Maps Denver, and then now this is Denver, and then I saw the ads for Love is Blind is going to Austin, and I'm like, guys, do we really want to keep going back to back?
I think it's just like, listen, we already have a lease on these apartments. We might as well get our money's worth. Equipment is already down there.
I think that's what it is. So, anyways, they get the bachelorette party. Everything is so watered down. I remember back in the day when they used to go all in, but now they just gather and drink. I think what was the one where they had all the guys? It was DC. They had the guys go to Capital One Arena. That's where we
Mm-hmm.
go to our concerts and the games and everything are played. And the girls were like sitting doing slumber night or something. And I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah, well, and then last season, the guys got to go have like ultimate fan experience at like
Mm-hmm.
the Viking Stadium,
Like,
throw the ball on the field, and the ladies went to Mall of America to go to the amusement park. And I'm like, listen, no shade on Mall of America. We go there for Thanksgiving every year to ride the rides. It's a fun place to be. If you're from Minneapolis, you're there. You grew up going there. It's not like a fun treat. So that was a little bit. At least this time, like, yeah, nobody gets anything.
I went there once on a work trip. I was just like, let's go see what all the fuss is about. I don't know if I
Yeah,
found the fuss, but it was something to like experience. It's something you should
yeah.
experience. But
There's decent enough rides.
but on the flip side though, sometimes you take for granted the places where you live and
Mm-hmm.
there're just some things that you've never done. Like I live here and we have all these museums and we have all this. I've not gone to like half of them, you know?
Yeah,
So
fair.
maybe
Chicago's
that's
that way.
the
I
situation.
lived in Chicago forever. I went to Navy Pier once when I was like 11. Like I
Mhm.
never went back. The Shed Aquarium, all the cool stuff. I never did any of the cool stuff in Chicago. So I could see if
Yeah.
they like shut down the Museum of Science and Industry and like let my boys ransack the place. That'd be fun. We'd make a
Yeah.
mess, I'm sure, but that'd be a fun time.
And also, even if they've done it before, they've never done it on camera. So
Yeah,
it's a
true.
whole
That's the point.
different experience. So Megan is talking about the wedding and the marriage to her friends. And she just mentions all these things about, the differences that she and Jordan have. But, he doesn't want to really, the way he talked about the travel. I think we talked about that, how I felt. I'm not saying he's wrong about being a parent and how your life is going to be different, but he just really was really negative about it. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, the thing is, I don't want to travel alone, but he does make me feel safe. He does make me laugh. And then her friend says, well, is it a concern about Jordan or is it a concern about the change of your lifestyle? And they were all like, yeah, we all have that question. And then the friend Carrie was like, my biggest fear is that you're going to say yes. I'm like, nothing good is going to come after this first statement that you said because
Uh-uh.
I feel like you falling in love with a kid and that's going to complicate the feelings. And I thought we had escaped a season without the hating friends or the well-meaning, what is it, protective friends. But here we are the day before her wedding, which, by the way, did you get to see the deleted scene of when her friends met Jordan and one of them
No.
asked a question about how do you feel when you drive in your Kia? And then you see that Megan is driving. And I'm like, what the?
Oof. No, her friends were a problem for me. Her friends, and we're talking about Allie's friends too. But I'm just like, I need to know more about her friends because it almost feels to me like none of these people have kids and their lifestyle is like a dink lifestyle, which I have friends that are like this, and boy, that looks fun as hell. Like y'all just go on vacation whenever you want, you travel, go to concerts, all these fun things. I could see if that's the lifestyle that all of her friends live and she's part of that, with them being like, this is really gonna like ruin your entire social life. You know that, right? And it's just like that. It felt heavy, and there was no counterbalance of a friend being like, but also you love him, and this could be a great thing for you.
We got someone kind of say that. I mean, I think another friend was like, but what if she does develop a new family and she has a
That's
kid
true.
and new babies that are going to love her? And the other friend is like, yeah, it's a lot of what ifs and it's a lot of
Yeah,
unknowns. And I'm like, for everyone, whether
that's
it's
yeah,
married at
definitely.
first sight, whether a kid is involved, it is a what if. But what is with all the negative energy? I will say though that Megan seemed inebriated. You know how like sometimes
Hmm.
people get drunk and they just cry? She's like, but he
Hmm.
makes me laugh, but I don't know. And I'm like, again, it's the air, but these people are
Yeah,
drinking again.
yeah. It wasn't great. It made me kind of sad because it almost felt like, and it's hard to avoid this being the feeling, but it kind of
Mhm.
felt like her friends are like, this man is not like of your class. Like,
That
why
is
would
what they
you?
were. Yeah.
Yeah, like, why would you waste your time trying to turn this pumpkin into a carriage? he's
Yeah.
he's he's garbage. It's basically what they were saying.
I think that's what they were saying. And it's like, let me talk about Allie, and I'll just share my general thoughts because it's the same thing I feel for both of them. Where straight to the point, Allie's friends were mocking Anton's income. That's basically
Yeah.
what it is. They're like, "Oh, he makes good money." They were like, "He makes really good money." Then it's like, "Oh wait, no, he just makes good money." And she's
Yep.
like, "Are you sure you don't mind that he's a truck driver?" And a lot of people will look down on that, especially a woman of your caliber. Let's define caliber. A woman who doesn't clean herself afterwards, whose mommy cleans up for her. What is
Yeah.
the caliber that we are, speaking of? And let me
Ah,
put this.
yeah.
I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to say these are not like realistic conversations that, some people have with their friends. Like, listen, if this is what's important to you, because I say this all the time, people marry for different reasons. Some people marry for love, some people marry for class, like people marry for whatever strategic reasons. That's fine as long as both of you are on the same page or not.
Mhm.
I don't know. But much like Plathville, when they were getting a Lydia the day before her wedding, what is the use the day before the wedding? Are
It's
you
messed
just
up.
realizing he's a truck driver? He has been a truck driver this entire time. She's aware that he's a truck driver. She still chose him. She said yes to the engagement. She chose to stay with him. You saying it a day before does what?
Well, and honestly, like he's a truck driver, but he's not like an over the road long haul trucker where he's gone for like 2 weeks and home for a couple of days, and then he's back gone on the road for 2 weeks, whatever. Like it sounds like he's like a truck driving instructor. So like he's teaching other people also because he was like, oh, it's really hard to like teach a 21-year-old how to drive a really big truck or whatever. So it doesn't seem like his long-term career path is we got a great big convoy. Like that's not what he's doing, number one. Number two, with the caliber conversation, the only way that I can interpret this is you are hot enough to marry a millionaire and be a kept woman. Like, why don't you just do that? Was very much how it felt because
Yeah.
it's not like she's, a PhD level chemist who's doing like groundbreaking work. She's a nurse. It's a super important job. I couldn't do it, but that is not the kind of job that you say, oh, that's a status position. She's not like a Fortune 500 CEO or a partner at a law firm or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean. It really just kind of felt like you are really, really hot and you could marry a 65-year-old billionaire and just like get a private jet. Why would you not do that instead marry a truck driver? Which, boy, that's a fucking bummer.
I do want to clarify. When I say she doesn't clean, I don't necessarily mean like in the, oh, wife is supposed to cook and clean. I just mean in terms of like her health code. Because
Yeah, there's going to be laundry on the
floored.
floor in your house all the time.
I'm still floored by the fact that she's like, I just don't clean myself. I just leave my clothes and they just sit there. And I'm like, what even is that? It's the cleanliness of it all. Not that, oh, you have to be a wife and you have to be able to cook and clean. But you watch 90 Day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is so abstract, but while her two friends were talking to her, in my mind, the two friends were Yara and Anfisa, just
Yes.
talking to her.
I 100% saw Yara, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if she's Russian or Ukrainian because boy, this accent matches. And if that other friend would have like screamed for her red bag with her makeup, I'd be like, no, that's Anfisa, that's who that is.
But I
But
think
yeah,
she
it,
was
it, it,
Russian
it's
because she
bad.
made a comment and said, "Oh, he's Russian, and in Russian culture, the men have to be like the provider and do," and that's what
Hmm.
started the whole income thing. So I just assumed
Yeah.
um, that she was Russian. But these are the conversations that both are having. That was my problem with both friends. It's like clearly they're struggling, right? Especially Megan, and they're
Hmm.
looking for you to support. I'm not saying go blindly, but these are conversations that if you guys were worried, I understand it's a TV show, but you should have had that way before the day
Yeah.
before, or a few days before the wedding.
Hmm.
So Allie is like, I don't think that's what he wants to be forever, a truck driver. Absolutely not. But he wants to open a business. And the friend was like, well, that's another potential is that he might be a truck driver forever. And then they laughed so hard.
So
And
hard.
then the two friends mentioned, hey, we're two women who are on the brink of a divorce or we're about to be divorced.
Hmm.
That's funny. But I do agree with them in that when they say you have to look at who he is right now and be okay with it, just in case this is what he's ever going to be. Are you okay with that? You know?
It's part of this that made it hard for me was it didn't feel like going into these conversations either Meg or Allie were as concerned about this as they were at the end of the conversation. Like
Mm.
Allie's concerns were basically this dude drinks too much and like he might want to party too much, and that's a problem for me. She didn't really come into it saying, I'm really concerned about him being a truck driver forever, not having any money. That came up because of the conversation. And with Megan, it's like, I don't think that she went into it saying, yeah, I wonder if I'm really only into this so much, like because I've fallen in love with Luca and this and that. And like, maybe I'm blinded by that. It felt like her friends kind of planted that. And then she's like, oh, yeah, maybe that is what's going on. And it is kind of already wrapped up. It just felt like y'all are just coming here to sabotage, huh? Like you don't want your friend to be happy, right? You just want your friend to be upset.
And a little part of the blame for me also goes to the editing, because that was the main concern, was the drinking and all of that, because they had a conversation about her not working and Anton said, sure, we can live on my salary, we're good, we're fine.
I
So
get to
for
work
it
a
to
lot, but I can do that.
to suddenly now bring up like a whole thing like it's an issue is just weird,
Mhm.
when all we know that is bothering her is the strippers, which they never had a conversation that we saw, and
Nope.
the partying, so and the
Yeah.
drinking.
Mm.
Meanwhile, over on the bachelor party, it seems a little tamer. Anton is saying, is she high maintenance? Yes. Is she best with money? No. Does she cook and clean? No. And I'm like, you, I'm gonna need something positive. Like,
Right.
this is, don't lead with that before you go in. But he's like, she has things that he values more than that, and he's willing to take a leap of faith. And my question for you, Brian, is: do you think that Anton like loves Allie, or it's the fact that she's hot? Like, I want someone that everywhere I walk around, like I can say, like, this is my wife, not a trophy wife, but in that realm.
I don't think I think it's a little bit more complicated. I think it's that she's hot and also super into him. And it's one thing if, again, I've watched enough Real Housewives to see, oh, yeah, your wife is hot. She doesn't like you at all, man. Like she's kind of grossed out by you.
Yeah.
And it's something to be like, yeah, no, this super hot woman like likes me and like wants to touch me a lot and stuff like that. I do think that he has kind of fallen in love with what he thinks she's going to be when she's older. I think it's like right now you're not cooking, you're not cleaning because you're, in grad school and you're going back to school and all these things. But eventually when we have kids and all that, you do want to be somebody that's like home most of the time. You're not going to be home all the time and also not doing any of these things either. You're not doing them now because you're busy.
Mm.
And I think that it's kind of the reverse with her, where it's like, well, I like who you are now. I'm afraid of what you're going to become though. And like, what if you
Mm.
don't turn into what I want you to turn into? And so it's kind of interesting to see kind of both sides of the same coin
Mm.
here, where,
Mhm.
we're both talking about the future, but in different ways.
Oh, look at you, Brian. That was
I'm
good.
deep.
No, that was good, because I was gonna say, like, it looks like they're both in love also with potential, but it's just flipped in different ways, where there's these expectations and neither of them know that they both have expectations for the other one. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay, who's
we
gonna
haven't
get
talked
there
about it.
first? Yeah. Jordan said he's just excited to be in a routine. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna see. And not a peep from Edmund. We did not get
Mm-mm.
anything about Edmund. So I
I
hope
wanted to
he.
see him to see, are your friends weird too? Like, do you stand out as odd amongst your friends, or is this what they're all kind of like? We didn't get any of that.
Nope. No confessionals, no Edmund in a bachelor party. So, all right. We will take a quick break and then we'll go into our first wedding. All right. Back for Anton and Allie's wedding. Here's the thing. At this point, I didn't know we weren't going to get any weddings. So I was like, oh, well, they usually end with a yes. So I'm
Mhm.
like, KB, like I said this last week, the way she talks to him, there is no way like that could be a romantic relationship at the
Mhm.
end of the day. So I'm like, if we're having Anton and Allie, I was like, okay, maybe they're giving us a yes now and then they'll focus on the drama. So his biggest fear is that she's going to say no. Allie is suddenly there getting ready and is now second guessing what the 3 month girlfriend girl said. I don't even know her name anymore.
Doesn't
And
even matter.
how accurate the information was, that she hasn't seen anything of that behavior. So I'm like, again, the storytelling. I thought that was the reason, but anyway, I
Yep.
digress. She said she hasn't seen any of that behavior. He's been good. Her mom is just like, nope, I'm worried. He drinks. And
Yep.
she's like, and then Allie's like, oh, mama, I drink. And she's like, not like this, not every day. You shouldn't be drinking
Yep.
every day. And Allie's like, no, we should extend grace. And I'm like, Allie, I thought this was a thing for
This was your whole
what is
this was your this was your whole issue. And like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be drinking every day. And if he's drinking every day, that may be too much. But like the way that her mom put it was almost like, he does cocaine, right? Like, he's a cokehead. And like you're okay with just him blowing rails all day long. Like it's he's not. You don't see him like carrying around a pony keg, just like taking sips all day or anything.
Just to clarify, he's not saying that he does cocaine. It's just the
No.
exaggeration and the way Mama said it was like this big thing.
Yeah.
But because
To
she
be
doesn't
clear,
drink at all.
of everyone on the show, he has the lowest level of energy. I don't think he does cocaine.
Okay, I don't want to get sued. I'm going to bring it right to you.
No.
So, anyways, yeah. So that's basically Mama was just really worried, and her worry is not because she's seen it; it's from what Allie has told her. So Allie now pretending and going like, "No, it's not that bad." You're the one who relayed it to her. You're the one who brought your concerns, and I'm not going to invalidate her concerns as much as Anton thinks like, "Oh, I'm functioning. It's fine. It's okay." She doesn't have to be okay with it. If that is a big concern for her, it is very okay and very valid. So it's just a dissonance for me. It's like, what should I be feeling in this show? Like, are you worried? Are you not? Because I don't know, would we have caught it if she never brought it to her attention? If she wasn't like,
No.
where's the bottle of tequila? Where was the six pack that you had? We wouldn't have known the severity of his drinking if she hadn't brought it to her attention. So now to just say, nah, extend him grace, it's not that bad. I'm like, okay.
All we would have seen was like the breakfast mimosas that one time.
Yeah.
And like, okay, like that seems like a nice thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't, it would have, it felt like it came out of left field already. And seeing her be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Stop. We all drink. I'm just like, well, now hold on a minute. Because this was the whole thing a week ago.
Yeah, that could be different if she was like, I understand, but but no, she's like all that. So for some reason, we start getting like the clown music as we watch Anton wear mismatched socks. And I'm like, does this mean something? But then his mom just comes in. His mom blesses him. It was so cute. They have a moment together. Then Anton's mom goes to check in on Allie, and she meets Allie's mom for the first time. She tears up. She wishes them both well. Allie's mom's face to me is like, okay, let's just get this over with. But then she just turns around and is like, we really like your son. You raised a really good guy. And I'm like, 5 seconds ago, you said he drinks.
Said he was
all the time.
Right before she came in.
You don't like it and you don't want it. But at the end of the day, both moms tell her, listen to your heart and your heart will never steer you wrong. Her sisters walk in. Two are really excited. One is hanging there waiting for like, when they give you on stage, they give you a mark and they're like, stay on the spot. Don't move until we tell you to move. And again, guys, no confessional. So you have to do all the work yourself. I'm like, I am guessing this is Nyara. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the sister who was not supportive. And in case you forgot, there was a whole moment where it was just sprung upon us that she was against it. But I guess she showed up. And this made me think that Allie was planning to say yes. Because I'm like, why would you make a sister who was not, supportive of it to come? But maybe on the flip side, she's like, okay, I'm going to say no, but just come. Anyway, like that will make you feel better. But they all do that. Then her sister comes, they start crying. And the sister reminds her that whatever happens there, I do not approve of this. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. But
just I don't like what you're about to do at all. And I'm going to be sitting 2 rows back staring you down the whole time. Good luck.
But you're grown. I love you very, very much. You're my best friend. And I'm like, I'm tired of this roller coaster of emotions of this show because I don't know what this is about. So you just decide to show up, but with negative energy?
Negative energy and not a stitch of makeup. Like, I mean, if you want to communicate the most that like I don't really care about this, I didn't even get ready. Like I put on a dress that I just happen to have handy.
She did seem like religious. I don't know where I got that from, but she was dressed like she could be on Plathville. Like it was really, really like conservative, and I don't know if maybe that's part of why she's against it. But again, now would have been a great time to tell us why you're so against it. Is it that you don't want her to get hurt? You're so protective. This is against I don't know, but tell us why, because this was a very strong feeling that the sister really had. Like for you to hug her and say, whatever happens, I don't approve of this.
Sheesh.
Yay for Anton. Anton got contacts for the wedding. No
Yeah.
glasses on sight on top of his head. And he had a very high bouffant that Johnny Bravo would be jealous of. He was very
It's
high.
up. I don't, because his hair, it almost looks like he's got a bouffant and then he put on like a headband on top or like headphones on top because it has like a dip
He has
in
a
the middle
dip.
of it. Listen, my hairline is non-existent anymore. I've been shaving my head since I'm 19. I realized the other day most of what I shave is muscle memory. Like there's no hair growing there anymore. I'm just shaving scalp. But like I don't understand what his hair is doing. He's got a lot of it,
He
but
does.
he styled it. I just don't know what he's doing exactly with it.
Yeah. So they go up to the aisle, they're at the altar, and then they ask them. Anton goes first as Ali closes her eyes and he says, I do. I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
After the longest pause and they ask Ali what she wants to do, it's very, very long. And I'm like, oh, go. She's going to say no. And
Yep.
she's like, I can't be your wife. And on top of that, the person that I fell in love with in the pause isn't the person that I got to know in real life. I'm like,
Whew.
ouch, you
Yeah.
didn't have to say that.
Just twist the knife while you're at it.
And then she starts walking out. Her mom walks out with her as she's crying. Anton wipes tears, and then there's some little girl who did not get a descriptor, but she's crying too. But later on, we find out that she's from Ali's side of the family, but she's
Yeah.
crying too. And then this is, I think I discussed this once with Love is Blind, one season where we're like, I asked, should kids be here? This is too much. Kids think weddings are like Disney and they're here, and then they see someone say no, and you have to start explaining to them that, well, it's not
Mhm.
always like this, but you could traumatize a child.
Yeah. Well, and not for nothing. We didn't have kids at our wedding. It was the right decision. Like no one needs that. My nephews were there, and then my wife. I think she might have had like two of her cousins who were like little kids that were there, but they were
Mhm.
gone at like 8 o'clock, and nobody else, no little kids. We made the right call. I felt bad watching this poor girl's heartbreak. Don't put her on camera. She's
Well,
having a hard moment, man. Let her
they,
have this.
they don't care. Because
No,
whose wedding was it that the kid said, what happened? Why? Like,
I forget which one that was, but
yeah.
yeah,
And I'm
it
just,
has like
okay,
yeah.
maybe we don't bring kids to this, but
I
yeah.
wouldn't do it.
So the respective families go comfort them, and all of a sudden, from nowhere, Anton's friend is like that cold-hearted fucking bitch. I'm like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa,
Oof.
whoa.
I said, "No, hold on now. It's not that."
I mean, that's
That
someone
felt
who
unnecessary.
has not filmed a lot and forgot.
Mhm,
The mic will pick up
mhm.
everything. So Ali says that she's mostly upset that she hurt him. And I was about to start bitching, like, okay, they've broken up, they split apart. Are we not going to get any confessionals? And then all of a sudden we see Anton. Oh, Ali, and then she's sitting in her wedding dress, and she said, I was almost hoping that he was going to say no. And she was, wishing that standing beside him would make her feel at ease, but it just didn't feel right. That she doesn't feel like he was forthcoming about his lifestyle. I'm like, wait, what? Back
Right,
again, we're back here. Okay. That the drinking, the partying, how active he is, or how healthy he eats. I'm like, wait,
right.
what?
Now hold on now. None of this because we had not seen him party.
That is what she
We
said.
yeah, we've seen him drink. I don't know. We didn't see y'all in the pods hardly at all. I have no idea if he portrayed himself as somebody that works out all the time. We haven't seen him order like an entire pizza and house it by himself. Like I don't think that he eats that. He was eating chips at the wedding, but he's nervous now. Like he's having a hard time.
Basically, this is all information we are finding out on the wedding day, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So,
Yep.
I'm sorry, guys, that I'm belaboring this point, but I'm going to beat it over the head that I just think they did a shitty job of explaining or laying out the story for us this season. Because why are we finding out that all of a sudden the way he eats is a problem?
No
Um,
idea.
she says that the info that she got through his friends, not the girlfriend, friends, threw her off her perspective of him. But it feels shitty to be the one walking away. It cannot be the girlfriend because she said, I don't know if her information is true. I haven't seen any of it in 3 months, but now his friends have thrown. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anton says that he's confused about not being her person, and it just fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
I felt
good.
bad for him because it really did feel like he was blindsided. especially because when they were at the bachelor party, he was just like, "Yeah, so I'm gonna say yes." Like there was no suspense in his question at all, which made me feel dumb that I had to sit there for 45 seconds of suspenseful music for him to say yes because we knew he was gonna say yes.
Mm.
But it really felt like he didn't have any idea that she might not say yes,
I
and so
think he
this was
did.
tough
He
to
kept
watch.
saying, "I know that she's enough for." Was it him or Jordan? No, it was him.
It
I
was
know
him.
that she's enough for me, but am I enough for her? I don't know. He said that multiple times where it seemed like,
Yeah,
so if you're even thinking that and you without a shadow of a doubt don't think like she's gonna say yes, it's not a blind side because a little part of you was like, I don't know, she's giving me, iffy
yeah.
boost right here. So that's that. Okay, another break and we'll be back for KB and Edmund. Okay, KB is emotional. She walks in, I think seeing her name, they went all out for the wedding. She's like, this is so nice. This is so great. I think one of the things, like, if I'm ever lucky to talk to any of the Love is Blind people, I want to ask, what does it feel like knowing you're going to say no?
Oh.
But you're going through the whole motions, you're wearing the dress, you're seeing the things, you get your family and friends to, come to the wedding. I think I asked Barda that, but her answer was like, she didn't know she was going to say no. It was like while she got there that she knew. So I just wanted to, because it just seems like a lot. Like, I don't makeup, hair, do that. And
Long day.
oh, it's a long day. So I don't know. I just want to know what that feels like. And also for the
Yeah.
producers, it will be to find out who gets to break up first and who has to like go down the altar.
Mhm.
So Edmund says that he is ready to make her his wife. He has no cold feet. His feet are hot. Then he starts sobbing.
Yeah.
KB shares that she is on her period.
Yep.
So at this point, when we don't know that she's saying no, unless there are people who don't care about that and lay down a towel, Edmund is still not going to get.
No. Well, and it's funny because we just got done watching the math season that was in DC, and there's a whole argument that goes down between Katie and Derek, where Katie's like, "We haven't had sex in like a week and a half." He's like, "Well, you've been on your period for the last I'm sorry, hold on, 7 days." And so and she's like, "Derek, people have sex on their period, you know." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's just like a thing everyone's doing." Like I don't wanna, and I think if I asked my wife, she'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
There are
So
people. There
I
are
know
people.
there are some people, but I'm not them people.
But I'm gonna err on the side of people who don't. So I was just feeling
Yeah.
for if he had a meltdown at the
Oh,
getaway, he would have a meltdown when it's wedding night, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm on my period." Like
I
that
have
wasn't gonna
to.
be pretty. So she talks about how he makes her feel that he makes her feel loved. And we never met her side of the family. But apparently her mom loves her some Edmund. Because
Mhm.
someone is like, oh, where is mom? She's like, I don't know, probably with Edmund. She loves her some Edmund. But there
Yeah.
were signs. To be like looking back in hindsight, I think she wasn't 100%. She's going to say that. But I think she kind of knew like this was not going to go well. And I think that's why she went the route of not having sex with him. Because it's the same thing, kind of like even on Married at First Sight, where if you know, like you're not sure, you don't want to have sex with them and then say, oh, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
It's not kosher to just, do that. And she was doing her makeup by herself on your wedding day.
And her hair. Like my wife.
Listen, I know you think this might be too early to talk about, but the holidays sneak up on you fast, and it's not too early to get your shopping done and actually have fun with it. Uncommon Goods makes holiday shopping stress-free and joyful, with thousands of one-of-a-kind gifts you can't find anywhere else. Uncommon Goods has products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the United States, where you can find gifts like ice cream flavored lickable bubbles for kids, trivia games for the trivia lovers in your lives, or for the grillers in your life, an entire periodic table of flavor rubs. As if that isn't incentive enough, every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So shop early, have fun, and cross some names off your list today. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/altarcall MAFS. That's uncommongoods.com/altarcall MAFS for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Was like, oh, see, now she's gonna say no. because she didn't
Yeah.
even get somebody to do her hair and her makeup. Like, see, this
Yeah.
is a sign. I was like, yeah, maybe they'll kind of come in later on and touch it up. No, did it by
Yeah.
herself.
Maybe she's great at it because she did look good, but I don't know. For your
Mhm.
wedding day, I would take that off my plate and I don't have to
Yeah.
pay. They're gonna pay for it, and she was doing it by herself. So
Yeah, everybody
Edmund,
shaved me, so like, that's not even hard to do.
her mom goes over to see him, and then we find out that Edmund's mom couldn't make it due to personal things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what personal things? Like, you came all the way to see it. She's like, oh, it's not anything to do with KB. And I'm like, I
This
don't
this
know.
felt like, mom does this. You know how
Yeah,
mom is. Like, she's not reliable. She's here and she's there is kind of how this felt. Like, it still hurts, but
yeah.
we've learned over the years we can't really count on her to be where we want her to be when we need her to be there.
Now, his dad was there, but I still feel like they were not giving us the full story because besides his mom not being there, I believe his mom talked about other siblings who were all married too. Not a
Mhm.
one could make it down to the wedding. So,
Right.
Edmund is talking about how he wished he could make it. I've been complaining about this with Edmund from the beginning, but we got one last shot of Edmund and his damn man spread. He just sits there and just like opens it so wide up, like, stop. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
His
I feel
mental state is busting it wide open.
but yeah, I feel like there's a story there that we're not being told. I don't know what the
Mhm.
story is, and if it is something personal, honestly, that is the right call. Not everything, should be out there for TV. And I think we can deduce that he does have a complicated relationship with his mom. And I think I mentioned that when she came, where it just feels like he just really wants a relationship with his mom that I personally feel like he probably accepts things that he shouldn't accept from his
Mhm.
mom, and she takes advantage of it and just plays with his emotions and just
Yep.
adds to everything. Me, I don't know nothing, guys. I'm just guessing from what I saw. Not this damn hair pick on his wedding day.
Yeah, and it's like a different one. It looks like it's mother of pearl is kind of it was to the point that I'm like, is he going to try to parlay this into his own line of Afro picks? Like, is that where we're going with this? Because he always has it in. You don't. I mean, his hair is not perfectly shaped. Like, if you have a pick in your hair at all times and your natural is literally a perfect sphere, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that. It doesn't seem like he uses them that often. So, like, I don't know. It bugs me. I'm happy that we're done with it.
I'm gonna need the Lachey's to ask him about that. I do feel
Right.
he's gonna say, it's just my thing. I just, have it there. Been doing it for so long. I just figured I'm just being me. But I need them to ask that question, and I want to see
Yep.
what his answer is gonna be. Well, he doesn't have any family member there except his dad, but what we do have is his fifth grade teacher,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Welsh.
Mm.
And it just shows that it's very cute. And I can imagine that he had a tumultuous childhood. And for him
Yeah.
to have someone who's there for him, where I can't remember where Edmund is from because
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay. She flew in, for the wedding. And when they were speaking about it and he was just saying how much impact he is, and it just made us, were we being punks? Like, it's a different view of Edmund. Like, when you see someone through someone else's eyes, yes, he was a college star. And she mentioned how even all the cooks at college came for his final game.
Yeah.
You are not an ordinary person if the cooks are coming out to come watch your game and everyone wanted to, say goodbye to you. That's a very special person. But the part that got me was when Miss Welsh, again, if I was giving a bouquet with Miss Welsh, she says, I will always be a constant. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. That
Ugh.
part got me. And then my mom was a teacher for 30 something years. My wife is a teacher right now. When she said, you are the reason that I became the teacher that I am, I was like, oh, that is, I mean, if I ever had a teacher say that to me, I would break down in tears. Like, what an amazing thing to say to a student. And I know the names of my mom's students that she would say that about. I know the names of my wife's students that she would say that about.
Mm-hmm.
My wife has a student that reminds me a lot of Edmund. He's being recruited right now by a lot of colleges, has like no support at home. And the whole thing there is like, you're going to do amazing things if you just don't blow it in like the last 2 years of high school. Like,
Yeah.
and the attachment that she has to him, he's not been in her class for 3 years now, but she still talks to him all the time and goes to all of his games. And like, that's a special relationship. And you could see it between these two. And I also feel like, okay, so we have undiagnosed ADHD here. Because as a kid, you couldn't sit still in class. You're up running around, singing and dancing the whole time, but you're still paying attention and learning.
Yeah.
I got that kind of ADHD. I know what that is. My kid has that one too. Like,
Oh,
yeah, I feel like he was undiagnosed. He never talked about it on the show,
yeah.
but that does help explain a lot of kind of his energy level, I think.
His energy, yeah. His on his wedding day. Let's go! Woo! And
Yeah,
just running,
all of
up and down. All that to say, to the powers that be, pay teachers what they are worth.
it.
Screaming at
Yes.
them in the mountaintops.
Good Lord.
So she tells us multiple times that she loves Edmund, and you can tell that she actually means it. And she's the one who actually walks him down the aisle. And, as his pants were flooding as hell, but, that's besides the
Yep.
point. I
Mhm.
say this all the time, like blood is not thicker than water. Sometimes there are other people who it's all about the people who devote their time to you, who show up for you and who are there for you. And
Mhm.
Miss Edmund did a thing. She really showed up for Edmund, and it's just nice to
Yeah.
know like he has that in his life given what he's going through with, his mom.
Mhm.
That was a white wedding, Brian.
Sure was.
There were no black like what?
We had the same note, and it's okay. So Calabria didn't invite anybody, I don't think, besides like her bridesmaids that were there. And Edmund, when he went through like who's there, he's like, okay, so my rollerblading community. I'm
Yeah.
assuming there's not a whole lot of black folks that rollerblade in Denver. And then like fifth grade teacher and her husband. I don't know if he said anybody else, but I'm like, where are your college teammates? Like you would imagine there'd be a couple of dudes you were close with in college who maybe
Well,
came in the same recruiting class as you. Like those guys
West
could be around.
was West Virginia, right?
Yeah, I mean they got planes there. I know it's basically mountains, but they got planes that can get you in and out.
No, but his teammates might not have been black.
I get well, that's true.
It's
That's
West
true.
Virginia, so there.
Well, you might have a whole lot of white defensive backs. That is true. I went to Iowa. We specialize in those.
Yeah, I didn't think we would spend this much time talking about the wedding racial
It's worth noting.
distribution. But Edmund says, "I do," and they were like, "KB, it is your turn." KB makes a face. Edmund screams out in pain. I will try to recreate what he did. It was like and I'm like, she hasn't even said anything. Edmund.
There was a follow up. It was
Yes, that's what it was.
We watched it 4 times. We rewound it over and over. I'm like,
I did it twice.
At first I was like, oh, it sounds like that growl at the end was like, I want to break something, but I can't because I'm in front of people. But I was like, oh, this is not a great. This is an involuntary noise you made.
KB says, "I'm sorry. I'm so bad." I started laughing. That noise was just I wasn't expecting it, even though I should. I've been with this man for 3 weeks. I should know that things come out of his mouth, and I just started laughing there. And I was like, "Oh my god, he's in pain," and here I am. It was just unexpected for me. Edmund already looked like he was about to grind his jaw off. He was, man. She says that he deserves a person who is 100%. And her no doesn't mean she doesn't love him. It doesn't mean she doesn't accept him, but it's just like she's not 100% right now. They hug. She keeps saying, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm not going to say I'm okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay." And then he starts sobbing. He does say, "I respect you no matter what." She's like, "You look so handsome." She's like, "Yeah, you look so beautiful." And she's like, "Yeah, you have the best body that I've ever seen."
Oh, come on. That's unnecessary.
Right. Let's just keep it moving. This is I'm not going to comment on that. And she thanks him for being graceful.
Oh, she should have just walked off. Just to let Alvin walk away.
Then she tells him, "You're amazing and you're enough, but the doubt I have to honor." And I'm thinking of the movie You Is Kind, You Is Beautiful, You Is Enough. And I'm like, all right, we've done enough affirmations. Let's just do what Allie did. Like, "I'm sorry I can't marry you, you suck." And she walked away. Say your nice things, but this kept going. And then they walk off together. And then Edmund's like, it's just that, I mean, I know how great you are. Like, I mean, and then he's like, "Down the road at least?" And she's like,
yeah,
"I will never write you off." And I'm like, oof, that's a gentle letdown.
Like, he said 2 things back to back. "I will never write you off," and also, "You were a stepping stone in my life." I'm like, oh, not a stepping stone.
She said, "You're a big stepping stone
good
for
rung
me,
on my ladder,
and I will never forget you." And I'm like, well, if you were still going to keep in touch, why would you need to forget him? Like, she's like, This is the last. This is the last that we're going to meet.
You're never going to see me again.
Edmund says he needs to go for a walk. He goes for a walk. He's staring out into the views and he sobs.
Yeah.
KB says she feels bad because she meant her decision, but she does see how hurt that he was. As Edmund is sobbing by himself, the only person to go out there is the person who told him, I will always be a constant. And that was Miss Welsh, because she goes over there and she comforts him. And he was like, it's just that this was my best chance. And she's like, nah, she was not a diamond. Maybe she was a sapphire, but she was not a diamond and you deserve a diamond. And I know like this would come off like, oh, she was trying to diss her, but that's not what she means. She just means like she's great, but she's not for you. Like this is not the person that you, because my philosophy in life, I don't believe in the one. I believe you can make it work with anyone, but you might just have to work harder. So maybe he could have made it work, but probably they're not going to last. And he just needs to hang in there. He just says like, he was shocked that she said no. And I'm like, why was he shocked? In some way, I wonder if she told him, again, we're going to find out in the reunion, but this is the same way that she told him, like, I want to be celebrated until I get married. And then you're like, oh, I didn't know. I'm the only one not having this. So it's like, did she tell him that she was not going to say yes? But he said, there's no bright side to this. I'm not going to sit here and make up things and be like, yeah, there's a silver lining. Things are going to work out. He's still insisting. He comes up with that nice guy thing. I don't like that he does. I treated her the best. I did her the best. Like that doesn't come with rewards. It's not a buy 10, get 20 free situation.
No, it's not transactional. Also, you didn't treat her the best. So
no, you did not.
It's a double whammy here, man.
She asked you to go to Ross. You said, hell no. So
I don't want to be late. I'm doing my thing. You yelled in her ear the entire time on the snowmobile after she was like, I'm already mad at you. This is not treating her the best.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say, your prediction, Ali and Anton, you said both were going to say no. So good job.
Oh, well, there you go.
And then for Edmund and KV, you said Edmund was going to say yes and she was going to say no. So
there you go. Nailed that one.
No, I think you said Edmund was going to say, oh, I don't know. I have no for both. So
I don't know. Who knows what I say?
I'm going to give it to you. Edmund said yes and she said no. I think that was obvious. Edmund was never going to say no.
No.
Like he was committed and this was it.
Yep.
Okay, Megan and Jordan. As soon as we see them on the couch, I check my Netflix. There's 10 minutes to go. I'm like, we are not having a wedding. Okay, cool.
Same.
I didn't even catch the fact. I was seeing it all over online that there was no wedding footage of them. We never talked about it.
Nope.
I didn't catch it. So
nope, neither.
Megan tells Jordan that, we're so different. We like to do different things. He's like, yeah, I don't think we're that different. Then she's like, you're simple. You do the same thing every day. You eat the same thing every day. And he said, so, like, we don't have to eat the same things. And it's such a weird thing to say. He's not wrong. Like, in the grand scheme of things, when you're trying to build a life with someone, those are not the things that are going to keep you together. Hey, we have to go to the fancy restaurants. It's going to be your values. Is going to be the thing. She's also not wrong. If she likes those things and he doesn't seem like he was trying to meet her in the middle, he's just like, you have a kid, you can't travel. So that's it. Like, just shut that down.
Yeah, he's not that wrong, though.
No, I mean, he's not that wrong, but we talked about it and we said he doesn't have Luca 100% of the time.
Custody.
They share custody. So he does have, certain times. He had enough time to go to the pods, Brian.
He did.
He had enough time to go to the pods. He had enough time to go to Baja. Okay? If you want to make it work. She's not even asking for like so much. Like start baby steps. Like even if he was like, let's see what we can do. And, at night, even if you're so tired, suck it up. Devote one day and just know like, I'll take my L on that one day. If you have to give up your gym time that one day, I'm sure your muscles are not going to shrink that day, but it didn't seem
anyway.
From what we saw that he was even trying like for any like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. He's just like, well, when you have a kid, that's it, you're done. And I'm like, okay, well, it's fair to her. If she doesn't want to do that, then that's fair.
Right.
She says, I don't want to do all these things by myself. And the men that I've dated before, I haven't experienced it. I haven't dated someone with a kid before. They had fairly flexible schedules. And he's like, well, I don't understand why you chose me then. And she's like, I honestly didn't know how rigid you were going to be. And she was like, I was leaning in really hard into the opposites attract. I think what she didn't say was I was also leaning into the, Your son has type 1. My dad has type 1. It was
Yep.
meant to be.
Yep.
But she still has reservations, and it's not how she should be feeling going into their wedding. I want to know what the time period was from that last conversation in the closet, kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
wherever, to this conversation, because when they met his parents, she was all in and she was so happy. And the doubts were showing wedding dress shopping. I can say that. But I want
Mm-hmm.
to know what it is that exactly like flipped the switch. And that's what I'm hoping the reunion can give to us.
Yeah.
She says that she is sorry for not feeling more compassion for him and not giving him what he needed as a fiance, but she cannot do this. Jordan looks really pissed, and then he says,
Does.
tearing up, she loves him so much, but she doesn't feel like this is right, as we watch a lone tear fall out from Jordan's eye.
Cinematic.
And I think because Jordan isn't speaking, she can't stop talking. And she
Yep.
keeps going on. And she's like, "Thank you for introducing me to Luca." And I'm like, "Don't say that. I think he's probably
Don't
mad
say
that
that.
that he did, which he
Yep.
does confirm later." And he's like, "Well, I have nothing else to say. I am going to get Luca from school." And
Oh.
then they hug. He says that he didn't think that they were that different. She just has more money. And if he had enough money where he didn't have to work as hard, they would be getting married. He's not wrong, also. Like, it's
He's
such a
not wrong.
sad situation with both of them because no one is wrong. If you had to pick who was wrong, though.
If I had to pick who was wrong, I'd say Megan is wrong for picking him. Because
Ooh.
Megan had essentially, well, allegedly,
Yeah.
Mike had what she wants. And she's
Mm-hmm.
got a guy who says he's got basically limited money. I'm in a tribe of very wealthy men. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is what she passed up on to be with Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan did not surprise her with Luca. This was not any she found out so many times along the way, hey, my time is limited because of Luca. I don't have the money to do all the things that you want to do whenever you want to do them. Like these are not
Yeah.
surprises for her. And for it to all come to a head at once, where it's like, yeah, it turns out I don't want to be with a guy like you at all. I do want to be with, a rich dude who has unlimited free time. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck? Like why didn't you say that when it was offered to you? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think Jordan could have definitely worked harder to be more of what she wanted, or to show her that she was heard at
Yeah.
least. 'Cause,
Mm-hmm.
her concerns were not all money and free time. It was also, when we're together, let's interact more. Let's have conversation and do
Yeah.
stuff with just you and I. But I think that she sort of turned off the logical part of her brain, um, and went with her heart, which I get. But that's also, like I said last time, like this was a desert island couple. On a desert island, they'd be great together. They
Yeah.
would be totally fine. Outside influences do impact things, though.
I don't want to fault her for wanting something new. She could have picked, I think his name Mike. Was that his name?
Like, yeah,
Yeah. But that's what she's been dating. And then for you to have that kind of money, that comes with a certain kind of, I don't know, arrogance, attitude from what we saw. Mike wasn't particularly like the greatest guy. And it's like, yeah, so yeah, you can go to the fanciest restaurants. Yeah, you can have the flexibility, but would you have what Jordan was providing, which was, the laughter? I mean, maybe they'd want to talk about work, but is it really talking about work or flexing about how much money you made today or who you were addicted to that day? So I don't blame her for wanting to try something different. I also don't blame her because there's a lot of things where you have theoretically on paper what it is, but in practicality and reality is not the same. Like, could
yeah.
anybody have described to you what parenthood was until you experienced it?
Oh my God, no.
Exactly.
No.
Like, everyone says it's
Not
so much
even.
work, it's so much work. And so in your head, you're like, you know what? I know it's going to be hard, but you can't put into words what it is, especially
Yeah.
since all kids are not the same. All needs are
No.
not going to be the same. She's never experienced it before. She was willing to try, but then the reality was like, oh,
Mm-hmm. It
oh.
is like, yeah. I think the biggest thing that you can't be prepared for is you don't get downtime. Like, especially, I have downtime now because my kid is 6 and he has his own interests. For those
Mhm.
first 4 or 5 years, if he is awake in your house, you're with him and you're
Yeah.
doing what he wants to do. And there's not really a whole lot of like, okay, you play by yourself for a while, I'm going to get something done. Like if I'm in the kitchen, he's in the kitchen with me, like watching me clean and cook and shit. So I think that if you're somebody who's not been around kids a whole lot, to all of a sudden be in a situation where there is a kid who needs constant interaction and
Yeah.
attention can be draining a lot faster than if you've been doing that for years already.
Yeah, but I think the argument is to be said that she does want kids. And
Mhm.
if she does have a kid, we don't know, like, God forbid, what if the kid is a type 1 diabetic? You will figure out a way and you will deal with it. Like, you don't know. This is because you know ahead of time that Luca has one. If she had her own biological child and that happened, and even if he wasn't type 1, like, your whole lifestyle is going to change regardless, and you'd be willing to do that, which I'm going to give you time. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I don't know if you know Brian, but I'm spoiling it for Brian. But if you don't want to know, press pause, fast forward a few minutes. But the news is floating that she found a person, her rich person, and she is going to surprise them with a baby on at the reunion.
That's what I
So
assumed it was.
so I mean, nothing is a mystery anymore in this day and age that we live in, but I'm just hoping it works out for her. I don't know if the baby was planned or if she just met this person, but for some reason the son, I was like, the son is interested in Love is Blind. I don't know, was taking pictures, and we see the person and they're carrying a brand new baby. So your life changed anyways. Like, you were going to make it work. So it has to be a combination of things, because sometimes nobody's 100%. There are things you're going to work on, there are things you don't, but I think a combination of everything. And Jordan just seemed like, I am out of it. I am
Yeah.
exhausted. I don't know what to do. And I don't think he wanted to be, he's not bothered by the fact that she has more money, but it is highlighted that, hey, I'm going to go play pickleball. Oh,
Yep.
I have to be at work. And when I come back, I'm
Stop.
so tired. So it's just, I don't know who, no one's wrong. It's just not, they're not compatible. That's,
No,
I
they're
guess, the
not
best way.
compatible, and they should have realized this a lot earlier than they finally did. Basically,
I mean, it was like me. I was just hoping. You could see the
I was
differences,
hoping
but you're like,
too.
yo, they can fight through it. They can make it work.
I liked them together, but I'm just like, yeah. If you're at the point where it's like this is a lot more work than I'm willing to do, it's
Yeah.
sad,
Yeah.
because I think they could have made this work if they
Yeah.
put in the effort to do it.
The effort, both of them put the effort. Yeah. So the producer asked Jordan if he has any regrets, and he says, yeah, I wish I didn't introduce her to my son. And she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't love me for me, and that's the closure I need. I was like, oof,
Yeah,
oof.
hurts, but he's not wrong.
I don't. Oh man,
He's
I
not wrong.
don't. You think she doesn't love him for him, or is it she
Yeah,
doesn't love him for all that?
yeah. I think he was 100% right. Where he's like, if I had unlimited money, I think she would still be here right now. And I, you know, it's hard not to draw that conclusion, because her main issue was like, well, you have to work a lot, so you don't have a whole lot of free time. Like, I think the Luca of it all wouldn't have been a big deal, because again, it's shared custody and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it was more so like, you can't just drop what you're doing on a random Thursday and like fly out to Vale for a little bit to like hang out with my friends and then come back. Like, that's a problem for me, that you don't have that kind of flexibility. And the only way you get that kind of flexibility is by having unlimited money, by having to never have to work again. And I don't think I understood how rich she was, because like I knew she had money. That was very clear. But for him to be like, yeah, she's in a position right now where if she never wants to work again for the rest of her life, she doesn't have to. I'm like, okay, I didn't know she had it like that. Like, I
I
didn't
mean,
know she
what
had
I
like that
saw
kind of money.
was 800,000 was her net worth, but I don't know if
Okay,
that's
so no, she has to work. She has to work. Still. This is not like, if you're making 800,000 a year, then maybe okay. Like, yeah, I could see that you could just let your money work for you. But like a net worth of 800,000, if you own a house, a lot of your net worth is your home. So like, that's not liquid assets. You can't spend that. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's where she's at. Then he has a kind of a misperception of how wealthy she is too. 'Cause
Well, I mean, don't go by
that's not
what
that
I
much.
saw. Nothing on the internet
Yeah,
is true anymore. You have to do your due
true.
diligence, but it's enough for her to be comfortable or to look at a $1.2 million house without even
Yeah,
blinking. So, um, yeah, I agree. with everything you said. I think where I was stuck was like, I didn't think she didn't love him. I think she was just honest about the reality. And let me just go to what she said. She's like, I didn't think through how challenging it would be for me. And maybe I'm not cut out to be a stepmom. And now I'm even questioning if I'm cut out to be a mom. And maybe I am too caught up in my own life. It was just the reality all coming in at once. Like, listen, like you just said it, once you're a parent, there's no downtime. And she's like, I want my downtime. My friends, we just go out and we do things and
Everyone.
we hang out whatever we want. So maybe that's what it was. She was just honest about that. But like you said, if they were committed to it and they wanted to make ways around that, maybe they would have. Because like I always say, I don't, there's another show, Ready to Love, where she stopped dating him because she wasn't sure about where he was in his career. And I'm like, give it a little bit of time. If they have everything that they want, the influencer life is going to come with that. Jordan, with all his tatted self, could come in with something else and he doesn't have to work all those hours and he will have all the time. So that's the part where I'm like, there must be something. What was it? Who was it? Joe. Joe was like, Madison, he's lying. Like, he's not attracted to her, but he's like, it just wasn't right. It just wasn't right. There's something off, that something is missing. And both of them were not willing to try and get it to that point. So it is what it is. So I'm interested to see where Jordan's career goes. It was seen on Ink Master.
I'm saying do something tattoo related. You can get a show on like Travel Channel where you travel the world looking at different indigenous tattoos. Maybe a fun job. You travel, Luke can come with you. Like there's parlays you can make, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. She could have just, but I think maybe because it's a legal marriage, she just didn't want to take that risk, and everything happens as it should. Yeah. And immediately Miley Cyrus's Flowers starts playing as we start seeing all the breakups, and they're shown in a montage. And then someone's like giving a speech. I'm like, what speech was that? Who was reading that? That was,
I don't know,
going over the whole things. And low-key, I just realized it was all the women who said no.
Yeah. It was women. It was all the women who said no, and the two couples that didn't make it before were the men being like, I'm out. So yeah.
And then they make the choice to show Anton drinking. And then all of a sudden, I remember that when they had the reveal, this is why they showed Anton going for the champagne instead of turning around and looking back at her.
Exactly. Foreshadowing.
Shady. Anyways, much like Married at First Sight Denver, another season with no marriages.
Flop.
I still liked it.
I had a fun time. I had a fun time. There was drama, there was fights, there was love triangles in the pods. There was all the things that I want from a season. And even to the point that we got to the altar and I wasn't sure what people were going to say. I always feel like I want to have some unknown when we get there. This was a quality season. It's just a bummer no one stayed together, But
I think that's the thing. And it maybe just needs a little tweak. We have established, Nick Lachey, don't come up there and say, like, is love really blind? It's not. So we just need a little tweak. Do you think maybe if they don't make the marriage legally binding? No, I need the stakes that high. I think
that high. The tweak that I have is the same one that I have for MAFS, which I think they might have done this year. Stop casting people. Quit reaching out to random people on Instagram and say, hey, do you want to get married to a stranger on TV? Like, I appreciated that when they had the first episode of MAFS, they showed like people submitting their audition videos and all that stuff like that. Do that again, because I think you're going to get better matches and people that are more prepared to deal with some of the challenges that come from being married to somebody they don't really know, as opposed to this person has been trying to get on reality TV shows for a while. Let's give them a shot on this one. Like that's not a winning formula.
I think they're still reaching out to people. Then they make them.
I'm sure they are. I don't think they're casting everybody, which it's that, well, they didn't cast everybody for this because Patrick Tahir's auditioned too. But I would not cast anybody. You're going to get drama just from the structure of the show, no matter who you have. If they're a bunch of normies who aren't thirsty for being on TV, they're still going to fight each other, you guys. I guarantee it. They're still going to yell and scream and stuff. Like it's not going to be boring.
Yeah. Well, that was that. Do you have any final thoughts before the reunion, or do you have any expectations for the reunion? Oh, you said Jordan and Megan were both going to say yes.
Well, I'm a dumbass. I think for the reunion, I want to see somebody pin down Casey and be like, what the fuck were you doing both times? Like with Patrick and then later on with Joe. I would like for them to push Nick and Annie to explain their thoughts on gay people better because they showed us for a reason. It never came back. So like you could have shown them talking about how religion is important to them without also doing that part. So I feel like you've laid that groundwork. I want to see that expanded upon.
Wait, because so Kate said him and Annie didn't date that long. That he was dating Kate so that's why it came from nowhere for her.
Yeah.
And I think when he found out that they weren't aligned, I guess politically or in that regard, that was when he jumped on to her. So was Annie just saying yes to go along with
I don't
him?
know.
That's I'm expanding, and like I agree, like they should go deeper into that, into what that meant.
I want that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really want answered. I don't really think so. I mean, they're not going to make Joe straight up be like, yeah, no, I don't think she's hot. And that's the problem. I mean, that, especially because she's had her glow up now. So maybe he's going to feel different.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's basically it for me. I don't know if there's anything else. I would like to get more of a discussion of what happened with Patrick and Anna, because I don't feel like we really got to the root of that. But I also don't think that she's going to be necessarily super forthcoming about what exactly went on, because her excuse was bullshit to me.
I don't know if Anna is going to show up. She locked her account, said this happened a year ago, like stop bothering me, I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And she left because her parents were kind of private. Like, would she want to dig this up all over again? I don't know. But never underestimate the power of, I don't know, reality TV fame.
TV cameras.
So we'll see. My expectations are very low. Like, I'm not going to, have high expectations on what the reunion will bring. But if it surprises me, I'm ready to be pleasantly surprised. So we'll see what happens. Okay. We will have another episode, the final one with the reunion next week. But before we go, Brian, share with people where they can find you.
Yep, you can listen to me on Maths Virgin. We are putting up an episode for each episode of this season. So we're recording 2 episodes tomorrow and then 2 more in a couple of days. We are on Instagram and Threads at Maths Virgin. You can join our Facebook group, the Maths Virgin Fan Club. I do a lot of memes and silly videos in there. And I've also been talking more about like other reality TV in there, because I did shed a tear during Salt Lake City watching Brittany try to have a conversation with her daughter. She just didn't get in. Her daughter got in her ass, and I'm like, yeah, no, it sounds like you were fucking up bad. So join us over there. I guess give us like a 5-star review if you like our show. Like that's helpful, I've heard. So yeah, do that.
Yeah. You just reminded me, if you want to hear my thoughts on Salt Lake City and Potomac, I guested on Bitches Better, so you can check that out and hear what I was thinking. We don't give enough attention to mommy issues, and I think Bronwyn is going through that now. Okay, you know where to find me. AutoCall MAFS on all of the socials. Give me a 5-star rating if you are so inclined, and stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the new episodes for Maths, because I don't know if I have like a one cadence for it. So just stay subscribed so you don't miss out as they come out. And thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Until next time.